I just want to catalog passing the verification challenge. Honestly, it'll be a reference for me as I open new accounts, new challenges, and welcome to Conscious Crypto. The reason I'm making this video today is I made it on the first challenge phase. Now this is the verification phase of the FTMO 200K account. And so I wanted to just go over like how I passed it, because I think there's a million ways to trade and 1,000 approaches, successful approaches to passing funded challenges. So what we have here is a little bit quicker of a trading period than I took on the first challenge. And of course that makes sense. Profit target is only 10,000 versus the first one being 20,000. So, looking at this right here, the things that obviously jump out, I'll get to, but I took 13 days to trade. And I opened 17 positions, which is like an average of 1.3 positions a day. Now, the way I trade is I might take multiple positions out in a day. I'm feeling it. I'm seeing things. I'm saying, hey, I'm going to take risks today. And I manage my total exposure of my account. And that's an important thing to understand, is how much are you exposing in total with all the trades you have open at a given time. And even like the total exposure you have per month or per week of your account, because it'll give you a good sense of what kind of risk you're taking, which should only be weighed on a scale, like be against your risk to reward ratio. So again, the most important thing I really want to highlight for people who are looking for like 90% hit rate trades, or strategies and edges and 70% or more, I have a 30% hit rate. Right? I have a 30% hit rate. And why that is because when I don't feel a trade, when I'm just like, this ain't working out, like it's not solid, or it's not moving, and I give it a day, 2 days, and I'm just like, it's really not moving. It's been up, it's been down, it's been sideways. I cut it. And usually I cut it with a slight loss, and that's my style right now, is like, if I'm like, wow, it's trying to get out of this range, but it keeps showing me negative, returns. I'm like, maybe I have a bad entry. So I cut it and I wait for a better entry. Like I might have the right analysis or the right feel for the market that like, hey, longs are the thing to do. But then I realize I got in too early. I don't like my entry. I cut it. I'm not afraid to cut a trade. I'm not afraid to take a loss. Like, I've been really good at not P&L watching as of late. So, that's huge. I want people to know that like, hey, you can have a 30% hit rate and still be a wildly profitable trader. And a lot of that comes over to this 4.72 risk to reward ratio. That risk to reward ratio is such that, again, that makes sense for a swing trader, right? Someone who lets their trades run, who doesn't get in, get out, doesn't scalp, doesn't day trade in kind of intraday, but also like holds over the weekend, holds through news, tries to get positions at critical turning points in the market. With that news, I'm like, let it settle, let it show its true colors, and then get back to it. So I'm really trying to emphasize my patience right now, because my mindset did shift once I got funded. It shifted. It was like, oh, this is real money now. This is a little different. I actually care. Like, I feel pressure. I feel like you need to produce, need to make money. And I guess there's like there was a slight moment of like, oh, I don't want to lose FTMO's money, but I'm almost like, fuck them. Sorry. That fucked them, but like, that's their business. That's their business. They clearly run a profitable business, a business that understands that what their revenue is versus, what they're able to risk with a trader by giving them a funded account. And on a $200,000 account, they can risk $20,000 before they take the account away. So I'm not too concerned about them, because I can't think that way. Like, that's not what this is about. So the last two things I'll highlight, after again emphasizing the 30% hit rate with a near 5R multiple, that's all it takes. I'll show it one time, because this is the essence The probabilities of profit. So I have a near 5R multiple, meaning I only need to be profitable 17% of the time. And that's proof. That's how I passed the challenge, right? Most people are like, I'd rather have like a 60, 70, 80, 90% hit rate. And they play with 1-to-1s. I'm like, I'm good. I'm good losing. I'm okay with losing over and over and over again, because when I hit big. When I hit big. And I'm not trying to hit home runs. It's not that kind of trading. It's just knowing that the positions I'm looking for are positions with not huge size, but proper risk management and patience to allow the market to do the work for me. So all of my work leads up to kind of vacation approach to trading. Take the trade, go on vacation. I don't actually take trade and then just leave. I've only done that once, and it was a greatly profitable trade. But can't expect that. This is more like, now you can relax. You don't have to be at the charts nonstop, because in fact, that'll make me want to overmanage my trade. When in reality, I need to let the market do what the market's going to do. So that's the last time not the last time I'll show this, but it's always just good to remind yourself, like, this is just barely profitable. But in my case, I had this kind of like 29% hit rate, and like in between 4 and 5, and it created a pass. And that's all people are looking for. I know it is. It's all they're looking for. So, yeah, max profit, $10,000 again. And max loss must have been, I think, one trading day, 2 different trades in the same thing, and they didn't hit. And so that's what it is. On this one, like most times, I always start with a losing trade. It's just what it is right there. Number of trades, 2 trades on that day. And then that's where I got my max loss, 3,700. It looks like. Looks like I was taking 4 positions that day. This is just in order of how many. Okay. So here's the balance curve. And yeah, I think it's really interesting that I lose, maybe win one, get back to neutral, and I lose, then I'm kind of neutral, and then I go. And then once I'm going, I'm gone. Like, I'm willing to sacrifice some of my profitability. And so to me, this was just 2 really good trades, both on dollar yen. Like, I just freaking love dollar yen. And you really can't go wrong trying to get along on dollar yen this year or last year or 2022. So, right? Average profit greater than average loss. Let your winners run, cut your losers. Super simple. It's hard for people, but it has to be learned. It has to be trained. And that's all I'll say about that. What's interesting is, I had more longs than shorts. Like my first profitable year of trading, it was in a bear market. And, I was just learning about sweeping liquidity, market makers, institutional candles, grabbing liquidity, whatever you want to call it. And I was like, I was just seeing it. I was seeing the field. And when I saw the setup, I would just recklessly throw my money at that trade. And there was times too where I had to hold it a little longer than was comfortable and into deeper drawdown and even add to that trade. But it was because I had a high conviction. I'm like, you're not going to wick me out of this market. You're not going to fake me out of this profitable trade. And so I really am trying to get back to that. Obviously, there's a certain degree where I have to limit that with these funded accounts. I can't just keep adding to a losing trade. That's not super wise. But sometimes it balances out. So actually, I don't want to make that a statement. This is, again, 1 million ways to trade and 1,000 approaches to passing a funded account. And so sometimes, like, when you have a strong conviction and you're reading something and you're like, this is so overbought, oversold, and whatever that means to you on the charts, right? It's just like, dang, this market is exhausted. Sellers exhausted, buyers exhausted, bulls exhausted, bears exhausted. You are like, I personally feel a stronger conviction. And I'm like, it just can't keep going down. Right. So I will mitigate my losses for sure. That is huge to me. Like, I cannot take a bigger loss than my emotions or my physical body can handle. But there is an aspect of like, I like being challenged. I like being like, oh, you think I'm frail, flimsy, retail trader, dumb money. I am not. I see what you're doing and I'm getting in where you're getting out. Oh, well, looks like I'm gonna have to wrap this up. But yeah, I don't find much of any of this else like helpful at all. Looks like I traded crypto terribly and traded dollar yen phenomenally. But look at this, y'all. Like, I had two good trades. And that's just how it goes, you know? This is just me, biding my time. Oh, biding my time. Oh, big hit, biding my time, So again, my profitable days to my losing days, about a 4R multiple. And that's what it is, y'all. There's 1,000 ways to pass these challenges and 1,000,000 ways to trade. So just be patient. Do you. Toodaloo.